Cheerleader destroys bullies with combat skills her Marine dad taught her. A story by Heartfelt Tales. The pom-poms trembled in Maya's hands as she stood frozen in the hallway, watching her carefully crafted world crumble around her. Just moments before, she had been the confident captain of Lincoln High's cheerleading squad, her bright smile lighting up every corner of the school. Now, cruel laughter echoed off the lockers as a viral video played on dozens of phones, showing her most embarrassing moment on repeat. "Look at Miss Perfect now," sneered Derek, the quarterback who had once begged her for a date. "Not so graceful when you're face-planting in front of the entire school, are you?" The video showed Maya's spectacular fall during yesterday's pep rally, her legs tangled, her skirt flipped up, her dignity shattered in front of 800 students. Someone had slowed it down, added mocking commentary, and shared it everywhere. Maya's throat burned with unshed tears as she clutched her books tighter. This wasn't just about a fall. For weeks, she had endured whispered comments about being too perfect, snide remarks about her military father, and increasingly aggressive jokes that cut deeper each time. The cheerleading accident had simply given her tormentors the ammunition they needed to launch their final assault on her spirit. But what her classmates didn't know was that Maya Rodriguez wasn't just another pretty face in a cheerleading uniform. She was the daughter of Master Sergeant Carlos Rodriguez, a decorated Marine who had served 3 tours overseas and had spent every evening since Maya could walk teaching her that strength wasn't just about muscles, it was about heart, discipline, and knowing when to stand your ground. Mija, her father had told her countless times while they practiced in their garage, "The world will try to put you in a box. They'll see the uniform, the smile, the pom-poms, and think they know everything about you. But you are a warrior. You carry the heart of our family, the strength of our ancestors, and the training I've given you. Never let anyone make you forget who you truly are." Those words echoed in Maya's mind as she walked through the halls, enduring the pointing fingers and muffled laughter. Her best friend Sarah tried to comfort her at lunch, but even Sarah's loyalty couldn't shield Maya from the constant humiliation. Teachers pretended not to notice the cyberbullying, and the principal's office felt more interested in avoiding drama than protecting students. The breaking point came on a Friday afternoon in the school parking lot. Maya had stayed late for extra practice, hoping to perfect the routine that had caused her fall. As she walked to her car, she found Derek and his crew, Jake, Marcus, and Tommy, standing around her Honda Civic. They had written "Epic Fail" in permanent marker across her windshield and were recording themselves laughing about it. "Hey Maya," Derek called out, his phone camera pointed at her. "Want to give us another performance? Maybe you can fall on your face again for our followers." His 3 friends cackled, forming a loose circle around her as other students began to gather, sensing drama. Maya's hands shook as she approached her car, keys jangling. "Just move away from my car, Derek. Please. Please." Marcus mocked, stepping closer. "Look guys, the Ice Queen is begging now. This is even better than the video." He pushed her shoulder, not hard enough to hurt, but enough to make her stumble backward. "Leave me alone," Maya said, her voice stronger now, though her heart hammered against her ribs. She could feel the crowd growing, phones emerging, everyone eager to witness her next moment of humiliation. "Or what?" Jake laughed, moving to block her path to the driver's door. "You'll cry. You'll call Daddy. Oh wait, Daddy's probably overseas getting shot at while his little princess plays dress-up with pom-poms." The insult about her father ignited something deep in Maya's chest. Her dad wasn't overseas anymore, but he had been, and he had served with honor while these boys played video games and bullied girls. The months of harassment, the public humiliation, the targeting of her family, it all crystallized into a moment of perfect clarity. Maya straightened her spine, dropped her backpack, and stepped forward. "You have exactly 5 seconds to get away from my car." Derek burst into laughter. "Oh no, guys. The cheerleader is getting tough. What are you gonna do, Maya? Hit me with your pom-poms?" For seconds, Maya said calmly, her voice carrying a new edge that made a few people in the crowd step back instinctively. "This is hilarious," Tommy said, pulling out his phone to record. "The little princess thinks she's scary now." 3 seconds. Maya's stance shifted almost imperceptibly, her weight balanced, her muscles coiled. Years of training with her father had taught her to read body language, to anticipate movement, to channel fear into focus. "Maya, don't be stupid," Derek said, but something in her eyes made him hesitate. "You can't take all 4 of us." 2 seconds. Maya's voice was ice-cold now, her father's training taking over completely. She had endured months of psychological warfare, but she would not endure physical intimidation. Not anymore. Marcus made the mistake of reaching for her again, his hand aiming for her shoulder in another dismissive shove. Maya moved like lightning, catching his wrist in an iron grip, pivoting her hip, and using his own momentum to send him stumbling past her into the side of her car. Before the other 3 could react, she had spun toward Jake, her legs sweeping his feet out from under him so smoothly that he hit the asphalt before his brain registered what had happened. Derek swung wildly at her, anger and embarrassment making him clumsy. Maya ducked under his fist, stepped inside his guard, and delivered a precise palm strike to his solar plexus that dropped him to his knees, gasping for breath. Tommy tried to grab her from behind, but Maya had heard him coming. She drove her elbow back into his ribs, spun around, and planted her foot in his chest, sending him sprawling backward into the crowd of onlookers. The entire confrontation lasted less than 30 seconds. 4 boys who had terrorized her for months now lay groaning on the asphalt, while Maya stood calmly in the center of the circle, her cheerleading uniform spotless, her breathing steady, her dark eyes scanning the crowd with quiet authority. "Anyone else have something to say about my father?" she asked, her voice carrying across the stunned silence. "Or about cheerleaders being weak?" The crowd parted as Maya walked to her car, retrieved glass cleaner and paper towels from her trunk, and methodically cleaned the marker off her windshield while the 4 boys struggled to their feet. No one spoke. No one laughed. Every phone in the crowd was recording, but this time, Maya didn't care. This time, she was in control of her own story. Derek limped toward her, his face red with humiliation and rage. "You're crazy," he wheezed. "I'm calling the police. You assaulted us." Maya turned to face him, perfectly calm. "You're right, Derek. Let's call them. I'd love to show them the video of you vandalizing my car, the screenshots of all the harassment messages you've sent me, and the recording of you threatening me in front of 40 witnesses." She pulled out her own phone. "I've been documenting everything for months. Have you?" Derek's face went pale as he realized the trap he had walked into. The crowd murmured as students began to comprehend that Maya had been enduring far more than just one embarrassing fall. "I didn't think so," Maya continued. "Here's what's going to happen. You're going to transfer the money to pay for professional cleaning of my car. You're going to delete every video and photo you've shared of me. You're going to post a public apology for the harassment campaign. And you're going to stay away from me and my friends. Because if you don't, I won't be so gentle next time." Jake struggled to sit up, his voice shaky. "You can't make us do anything." Maya smiled, but it wasn't her cheerleader smile anymore. It was her father's smile, the one he wore when he was being very, very patient with someone who was about to learn an important lesson. "You're absolutely right, Jake. I can't make you do anything. But I can make sure everyone in this school knows exactly what kind of person you really are. I can make sure the college scouts who've been watching Derek understand his character. I can make sure your parents see every message, every video, every cruel thing you've done." She paused, letting that sink in. "Or you can take responsibility for your actions, apologize, and we can all move forward." The 4 boys exchanged glances, reality finally hitting them. In their hunger to humiliate Maya, they had created a paper trail of evidence that could destroy their reputations, their college prospects, and their relationships with their families. "Fine," Derek muttered, his earlier bravado completely gone. We'll fix this." "Good choice," Maya said. She turned to address the crowd, her voice carrying clearly across the parking lot. "I want everyone here to understand something. For months, these four have been targeting me, not because of anything I did wrong, but because they thought I was an easy target. They saw a cheerleader and assumed I was weak. They saw someone who smiled and tried to stay positive, and they mistook kindness for weakness." She paused, making eye contact with students throughout the crowd. "But here's the truth, being kind doesn't make you weak. Being graceful doesn't make you helpless. And falling down, whether it's on a stage in front of the whole school or anywhere else in life, doesn't define who you are. How you get back up does." Maya picked up her backpack and slung it over her shoulder. "My father taught me that true strength isn't about hurting people who can't defend themselves. It's about protecting yourself and others when someone tries to hurt you. It's about standing up to bullies, not becoming one. And it's about knowing the difference between the two." As she opened her car door, she turned back one more time. "To everyone who's been recording this, I want you to share it. Not because I want to humiliate anyone, but because I want other people who are being bullied to know that they don't have to suffer in silence. You are stronger than you think. You have more power than you realize. And you never have to let anyone make you feel small." Maya drove home in silence, her hands steady on the wheel, her heart finally at peace. When she walked through her front door, her father looked up from his newspaper, took one look at her face, and smiled. "Good day at school, Mija?" "Actually, yes," Maya said, settling into the chair beside him. "I think it was a very good day." Master Sergeant Rodriguez nodded knowingly. "Tell me about it." As Maya recounted the events of the afternoon, her father listened without judgment, occasionally nodding or asking clarifying questions. When she finished, he was quiet for a long moment. "You know," he finally said, "the hardest part of being a warrior isn't learning how to fight. It's learning when to fight. Today, you protected yourself when no one else would. You showed mercy when you could have shown cruelty. And you turned a moment of conflict into a lesson for everyone watching." He paused, his eyes shining with pride. "Your mother would be proud." "I know I am." Maya felt tears prick her eyes, but they were different tears than the ones she had held back in the hallway. These were tears of relief, of pride, of finally understanding her own strength. The next Monday, Maya walked into school with her head high. The halls were different now, not because the building had changed, but because she had. Students looked at her with new respect, and some even approached to share their own stories of being bullied. Derek and his friends kept their distance, and true to their word, they had cleaned up their digital mess and issued public apologies. But the most important change was in Maya herself. She still wore her cheerleading uniform with pride, still smiled at her classmates, still worked hard to maintain her grades and her positive attitude. But now she carried herself differently, with the quiet confidence of someone who knew exactly who she was and what she was capable of. During lunch, a freshman girl named Emma approached her table nervously. "Maya," she said quietly. "I saw what happened in the parking lot. I've been getting bullied too, and I don't know what to do." Maya looked at the girl's scared face and saw herself from just a few days earlier. She smiled warmly and gestured to an empty chair. "Sit down, Emma. Let's talk." As word spread about Maya's willingness to help other students, she found herself becoming not just a cheerleader for the football team, but a champion for anyone who needed support. She started a peer counseling group, worked with teachers to address bullying more effectively, and became a voice for students who felt voiceless. The viral video of her confrontation with Derek and his friends did spread, but not in the way her original fall had spread. This time, the video carried a message of empowerment, of standing up for yourself, of refusing to be victimized. Comments poured in from students around the world who had found courage in her example. Maya never forgot the lesson her father had taught her, that true strength isn't about dominating others, but about standing firm in your own truth. She learned that kindness and toughness weren't opposites, they were partners in creating a life worth living. By graduation, Maya had transformed not just her own experience at Lincoln High, but the culture of the entire school. She had shown her classmates that the girl in the cheerleading uniform was also a warrior, that the student who smiled and stayed positive was also someone who wouldn't tolerate injustice, and that sometimes the most powerful thing you can do is refuse to let others define who you are. As she walked across the stage to receive her diploma, Maya caught sight of her father in the audience, his dress uniform gleaming with medals, his face glowing with pride. She had learned his lessons well, and in doing so, she had become something he had always known she could be, a force for good in a world that desperately needed more warriors like her. The girl who had once trembled with pom-poms in her hands had become a woman who understood that true strength comes not from the ability to hurt others, but from the courage to protect yourself and lift others up. And that, Maya realized, was the most important victory of all. What did you think of Maya's incredible transformation? Have you ever faced bullies who underestimated your strength? Share your thoughts and experiences in the comments below. I'd love to hear your stories of standing up for yourself or others. ***. If this story inspired you, please give it a thumbs up and share it with someone who might need to hear Maya's message. Don't forget to subscribe to Heartfelt Tales for more powerful stories about courage, resilience, and the strength we all carry within us. Hit that notification bell so you never miss an inspiring tale that could change your perspective or brighten your day. ***. Remember, you are stronger than you think, braver than you feel, and more capable than you know. Until next time, keep sharing your light with the world. ***.